Okay, right. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, May 18th, and this is the regular board meeting of the Clay Township Board. The first order is Pledge of the Flag. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business after the pledge is the approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now we have a public hearing on the additional appropriation from the Rainy Day Fund, and it is now 3 minutes after 6, and I call it to order. Is there anyone who wants to speak on this? At 6:03 and a half, I call that the public hearing is over. We have action items, and the first one is a resolution that I will give you. The information's right on here. I don't have to pick up anything to read it. Resolution number 2021-05-18-01, approval to purchase AEDs for the Carmel Police Department patrol cars. Yes, Doug.
Just one thing I would like, if the firefighters would show the video. I would like to show this video to the board. It's about a 5-minute video on Carmel Police using
When I go for a run, it's a stress release. It is a kind of disconnect from the crazy things that are always going on in life. Typically, I get up, shower, pet the dog, and then head into work. Goes out for a run. I collapsed, sudden cardiac arrest. Pulled up, I had no idea what was going on. He was laying on his back. I immediately dialed 911.
911, address of your emergency?
Bay Hill Drive at Sugar Cake Court. There's a jogger who's collapsed on the corner.
She kept asking, is he breathing, is he not breathing? And I had identified at that point he was not breathing.
Is the defibrillator available? Send someone to get it now.
No.
Tell me when you have it.
Well, there's no defibrillator available.
Okay.
And she had asked me to then, I need to start compressions immediately.
Okay, listen carefully and I'll tell you how to do chest compressions. Count out loud so I can count with you, okay?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Usually you hear sirens and you're afraid. The feeling of the sirens getting closer as I was doing the compressions was, you knew that help was on the way.
When we drove up, there was an individual already doing CPR or chest compressions on Mr. Utzinger.
He immediately came over, and within 30 seconds or less, I mean, he was already assessing the situation, hooking up the AED, and getting Jeff ready to be shocked.
We did not have AEDs until a few years ago, and it left us somewhat hamstrung on some of these calls. Now, since we all have AEDs in our cars, we can start rendering that aid much more promptly. The key to someone's survival in a situation like this is rapid intervention of CPR and AEDs. The hero in this situation is Bill, recognizing that there was a problem and having the courage to stop and do something. Having an AED increased tenfold Mr. Utzinger's chance of survival. The AED was put on relatively quickly and actually called for a shock, which, believe it or not, is fairly rare. So we cleared and allowed it to shock and yielded good benefits.
I stopped, and things worked out very well. If that means that I'm a hero, that, I don't know.
I think heroes are very quick to say anybody would have done it, and he'll tell you all that. But he is a hero in every sense of the word.
We have become a society fearful of getting involved in situations, I think. Bill saw something and had the courage to do something.
I would do it again tomorrow, and I would hope that everybody would.
It was unlike anything I can explain. To know you're hugging the person that without whom wouldn't be here, and or I wouldn't be here for my kids, or my wife and my family. We made up shirts that say "Be like Bill." Who wouldn't want to be like Bill? But it really speaks to be that person, be that good Samaritan that stops and that helps.
Have conversation with him. Need you on the mic.
So since we got the AEDs, the new AEDs, we know that we've used them 10 times already this year. And we know that one officer in particular that was in this video, he's actually had 2 saves off these AEDs. And with the new ones, with the new one, we like to partner with the fire department, obviously, so we do a lot of research with the fire department. But we know that probably, I think 10 is about the average that we use AEDs per year, so that we come in handy, and we do appreciate, getting this, and others to fund those. We have one in every car now.
Well, in the spirit of rivalry,
We need to have the microphone there.
I'd like to know how, Chief, the best fire department in the world, with the best response time in the world, the police department showed up first. And I'd like to know when this video was made, because, and did Bill get a ticket for his lack of hands-free driving on his cell phone?
That was, I think that was almost two or 3 years ago.
Oh,
That we
good.
did,
We caught
that came out. And since then, that officer's had another save. And then I know just, was it this month? That we assisted the fire department, and we had a 5-year-old that the fire department actually used their AED and was able to save the 5-year-old on that. So these kind of are a game changer, at least in my career, when we didn't have these and we just relied purely on CPR. They're like any other piece of equipment. Depending on the circumstances, they don't always work, but it's great to have them when they do. And we always don't beat the fire department.
The ones you're wanting to purchase, are they so you can use on small kids and
Yes.
idiot-proof, or put it first?
Absolutely. So I can even do it. A fireman doesn't have to show me how to do it every time. But yeah, so we have adult pads, and then we have ped pads, which for children. So we have the two
Switch them
different.
out?
Yeah, that we have to do. It can be a little expensive. I think it's $80 for the adults and $70 for the peds pads every time we use them. But and I think it's about $1,700 per unit on that. And I think we have 134 officers now as our authorized strength. So, but it is nice to have them in all the cars now.
Well, I would say it is rare, if not a first, the police department has come to us in my decade plus. I also say, and the chief and the chiefs before Chief Hawbush, in my decade plus time on this board, when anybody has asked for anything regarding public safety, nobody up here has ever thought twice about it, even if we've had to sacrifice other things to do so. And I think this is a great thing, and if you guys all say it's a need, then it's a need.
That's for sure. Any other discussion?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we have 34 officers. I think we have 18 per shift. They're on 12-hour shifts. So at any given moment, we probably have 15 officers out there. during the day and probably close to at least 10 to 15 at night that can answer these type of calls.
Anything else you'd like to add? Chief?
Hi. Good evening. I support this. The fire department supports this. We're all partners in public safety. As Board Member Snyder pointed out, and it really just helps saturate our community. We've got anywhere between 9 and 15 officers that are driving around, and while our fire stations are strategically placed throughout the community, we can't be everywhere at the exact same time. So by putting these AEDs in the squad cars, they can actually help saturate our community so that if somebody does go into cardiac arrest, there's an AED there to deliver a shock. Time is of the essence, and that's what this is all about. And so we support this, and we would ask for your strong consideration to support the AEDs and all of the Carmel police cars in our community. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
May I have a motion to accept number 2021-05-18-01?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next order of business is resolution number 2021-05-18-02, additional appropriation in the rainy day fund number 0061 in the amount of $230,300.
Well, now we have to pay for the last resolution. I so moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Resolution number C is the next one, resolution number 2021-05-18-03. Transfer funds from the dormant fire fund number 1111 in the amount of $201,811.13 and Park and Recreation Fund number 1312 in the amount of $174,581.60 and a one-time transfer of funds from the general fund number 0101 in the amount of $300,000 and the Township Assistance Fund number 0840 in the amount of $100,000.
So moved. This is a bunch of cleanup.
Right.
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed. All motions pass. Now we're ready for the information item. And Doug, I'll let you introduce it.
Okay, ran across Henry from the CRC a couple of weeks ago, and he's the CRC director for the city of Carmel. And we talked about doing something on having a presentation, because I heard this presentation was really good, but I'm only giving him 10 to 15 minutes to get her done. So we're going to, he's going to talk about TIF. It's very general, and we called it General 101. So TIF 101, and I will turn it over to Henry Metesky.
Well, while Henry's setting up his computer, probably a year and a half ago when the CRC really started understanding the scope of everything we were doing, Henry and his staff reached out to Doug and Dave Ford and I and said, you know, if there's anything we can do, let us know. If there's any, you know, assistance we can be. We know all the players in the areas you're doing things in, and
It's like
they have really
20 gigs.
been a very big help. So to
Great.
you, Henry, thank you for everything you've done to help get these projects. You didn't hear the whole setup, but thank you for everything that you and the CRC and Janelle and your whole staff has done to help these township projects move forward in the downtown area.
Thank you. Well, my presentation may be shorter than we thought, because I have a computer with an HDMI cord.
And they have
They have a 1997 computer that they got the other thing funded, but maybe you guys need a new laptop funded.
Maybe it's time for the dancing girls, too.
Seriously.
You want a table for another meeting?
Let's table it for when I can plug in an HDMI cord into today's technology.
That was the best.
Okay,
presentation
we're
we've
getting ready to redo this
What
room
is this?
with up-to-date technology.
I should have brought.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
that's too bad.
so I apologize to
I
you
should have
on
brought
that.
some
That's my
coals
fault.
and painted it on the on the cave wall. Okay. Well, you're welcome, everyone. I'll be here next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great
Good
presentation.
recovery.
Great.
On to the next item. Financial questions from the board, are there any? Board comments. Matt, would you bring us up to date on the projects, please?
Yeah, I don't know if the skyline in Carmel is changing. As the Carmel Clay Fire Admin Building, steel is in the air. It's exciting. I stood out there for about 20 minutes today and watched them set some steel way up in the sky, and about every 10 minutes I thought somebody was gonna get killed, and I decided to stop watching. They know what they're doing, but the view, the way the beams swing and the cranes and everything, every time you think it's gonna hit something. But that is on track, back on track. There's a delay with steel and bearing in the soil, but that's exciting, I think. Chief, do you want to add anything to that project? I mean, you're living it firsthand.
We're just.
Maybe
Gotta be
talk
on the
about,
mic,
if
yeah.
you could, talk about Station 41.
Sure. We are excited about the new Carmel Clay Community Building and Fire Admin Building going up. We're very excited about that. Station 41 is, we're getting close. We are going to move a little bit of equipment around to make it more palatable for the firefighters. There's still going to be a district engine there, and there'll be a district ambulance at that location. The battalion chief's going to be relocated to this fire station, and then the ladder truck that responds out of Station 41 is going to be moved to Station 46, which is in the northwest corner. And a lot of that has to do with just living space for the firefighters to be on duty for 24 hours. But we're excited. The firefighters are going to move from the north side of the building to the south side of the building. They're going to live there for approximately 6 to 8 months, depending on the progress of the project. The firefighters are super excited about the new kitchen and the new living area, the new workout area, the individual dorms with individual thermostats. If there's one thing that no one can agree on in the fire station, it's what temperature it should be. And so the individual dorm rooms will have individual thermostats, which will be a really big deal. The firefighters should, when they're not on runs in the middle of the night, they should be able to sleep a little better because, believe it or not, there is 1 or 2 people in the fire stations that snore. And so that should help everyone. There's also going to be individual tones that will go off inside of each of the bedrooms. And so, help me out with the name. Locution. It's a brand name, but essentially, if I'm on the engine and Paul is on the ladder and only the engine is going out, only my room, I can program it on a daily basis, and only my room will light up with lights, and also the tones will go off. And so the people that are not on that run, not being requested at that point in time, will not get woken up by the bells and the lights. And so if you look at a lot of the long-term health concerns for firefighters, cardiac damage and just lack of sleep is a big deal. We're learning more about that each and every year. And so this locution program and these individual dorm rooms, we believe, are an investment in our people long-term. And so we're really excited about it. We're ready for it to go. We had an update meeting this morning, and I think we're somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks out, so we're really excited about that. And so I'm happy to take any other questions about it, but I will simply say on behalf of all the Carmel firefighters, we appreciate what Clay Township is doing. Clay Township is an integral part of the Carmel Fire Department. Without the board's support and Clay Township over the years, I believe that the Carmel Fire Department would look vastly different than it does today. And hats off and thank you to this board and Clay Township government for your support with the Carmel Fire Department. We value you and we appreciate you, and you are tremendous partners with us in all that we do. So we're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
On the parks front, West Park is back under construction after wintering out, so they're working on it. Meadowlark Park is starting. They're moving dirt. It's gonna be very cool. Flowing Well will be the next park to open officially, although I think they gave up trying to keep people out. I think it's already active.
Oh, they're loading up already.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Inlow Park will be starting in just a couple weeks, if not sooner. It's really weather dependent and materials being delivered. It's a go. River Heritage Park, that'll be the last park to start, late summer, early fall. That's going to be real neat, and it'll have a nice trail to tie into our pedestrian bridge, and going to do that connectivity that the Parks has been asking for. Historical Society is ready to start official design. We had the last kind of preliminary design meeting today. The bid date, the target bid date is September 1st. They would like to bid that project. Have I left out any projects?
Just you and just ribbon cutting.
Well, I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, Mary should.
Mary, you can talk about that.
Right. Well, I had an honor 2 in a day. It was great. We started out at Cox Hall and saw the Children's Pavilion. And if you haven't been out there, it just is amazing what can be done and how wonderful it's going to be, because I'm just going to add a personal note. When I was growing up, parks were very much a part of our lives. We went ice skating in the winter, we went traipsing out in the summer, and my mother always had a picnic ready to go, and off we went. And at John Ball Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I grew up, we climbed the statues, and honest to gosh, they have statues now too. The Cox Hall Women's Guild is underwriting the cost of those, and the one they have there, I think, was in the newspaper just a couple weeks ago, and it's of children, and on the top of one child's hand is a bird. It was a lovely time. It was freezing. It was the morning when it seemed like it was below zero out there, and we were blowing every which way. But that was really fun. And then in the afternoon, Cary Park, and that was really great. The kids were on the swings and the slides, and the parents were there, and there was a good group of people that were enjoying it, and it really made it a great dedication. So, I'm proud to be a part of that. Glad to do it. Anything else? We're all done? All right, great.
Share one item
Yes,
with you,
please
please.
do.
I was asked to kind of get a sense of the board. John Oberlander from Carmel Legal Office called me at the end of the last week, Friday, and indicated that there had been some internal discussion about planning, about what happens to Suite A when the fire administration moves into the new administration building. Apparently, there's been some interest expressed by Carmel IT moving in. If they were to do that, there would have to be a change to the building. They would pay for a change to the building. And there's 2 approaches that I want you to think about. This is kind of long-term. I don't know when you move in, Chief, into the new facility. It's a year from now, yeah. But if they did move here, they would want to build out. So you could handle it. John and I talked about 2 approaches. One would be handling it like a commercial lease where the landlord owns everything and the tenant is free to build improvements with the landlord's approval, but the landlord owns the improvements at the end of the lease. The second would be to handle it as you did your long relationship with the sewer district, and that is to grant them a portion of ownership commensurate with their investment. So you need make no decision tonight on this, but I was asked to convey it to you so you can begin thinking about it. And if you have thoughts on approach, that'd be great. And at a future meeting, perhaps we'll take some more formal action so that we can extend a letter of engagement with the city, or a letter of intent with the city.
May I throw out one other?
Sure, please. Yeah.
I think as we build this Carmel Clay building, the next trustee of Clay Township is gonna have a decision to make. And that is whether they want their office here, or they want their office in the space that is at the new building. And should the next trustee, whoever that is, decide they wanna move the township offices into the new building, then I know that redevelopment and everybody else would just flat out like to buy this land outright. So I think that would be another option to consider. But I think it is wholly contingent on who the next trustee of Clay Township is. But just would be cautious to enter an agreement, knowing that just within a few months, there could be monumental changes.
Well, that's a good point.
And I know I talked to Christine Altman also this last week about the assessor, and she could not give me a day when they would ever leave this building. So that's something we always have to think about with the assessor here.
Any further discussion? Questions, Paul? All right. It's your turn. Any comments tonight?
The only comment is I got everybody got the email from Chief Hawbush about the fire trucks going over to the elementary school for the car wash. I think that's a great thing that you guys did, and hats off to the Carmel Fire Department for doing that, and the kids enjoyed it, and that's really great service that you guys provide. It's pretty awesome. Thanks a lot, Chief.
That was a great example. Great example of the partnership that we have with the Carmel Police Department. I just learned after the fact that the way that we were alerted is one of the student resource officers at the school actually said something to one of our station officers and the word spread, and so hats off to CPD for keeping us in the loop there, and so it was a great event. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate you mentioning it. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate also the fact you really keep us involved. You let us know what's going on, even if it's after the fact, so that we can enjoy hearing what's going on. I thought that was fun. That was a great idea.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All I'd like to say tonight is a big thank you to both the police department and the fire department for all that you do. We're so proud to be a part of your lives. So glad when you come to talk to us and tell us what's going on. So you can come back too. We'd love to hear what's going on. And so we thank you very much. And sorry about Henry, but we'll have him back for a different meeting. Announcements?
Yeah, I got a little bad news. Sunday night, Monday morning, we found out that somebody vandalized Pleasant Grove Cemetery.
Oh,
They damaged about 40 stone hedges or headstones. And so the fire department went back over there, and the ones that were just pushed over, they set back up. And kudos to the fire department again, but they set them back up. Now the broken ones, I've got a guy coming in the first week of June that's going to put them all back together. But the police department jumped on it, are investigating. Hopefully somebody's got cameras that they can share with the police department to find out who might have done something like this. I talked to the owner or the manager of Circle K today, and he says, the guy that worked nights said about 5 o'clock in the morning, they heard something out there, but they didn't know what it was. So that's something I just wanted to pass on to you, the board.
any other announcements?
No, other than I need all three of your driver's licenses so I can make copies for the INPERS.
Did Debbie
They're
tell you
coming in
I
to do,
sent it
INPERS,
twice?
which is our pension people, are coming in to do an audit in June. And so we all have to have our driver's license to make sure we're not wanted, I guess. I don't know.
They'll post copies of those on the website.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Sent mine to Debbie yesterday.
Yeah, she said you got
I sent mine twice, and what we've discovered, and Matt, now I don't feel so bad, we got a new phone, and I've been having all these different problems with it, and then you wonder, don't I understand technology? Honest to God, I text Matt, now you tell him what you told me tonight when I got it.
Mary had texted me Wednesday, asking about these ribbon cuttings, and I sent her a text, and I guess when I picked up this Wi-Fi here, it sent it, she got it today.
Today, when I'm sitting here, he never got the text.
That's why you think
I couldn't get on the Wi-Fi.
So that's why my pictures didn't get to you, and I don't know why. But my husband tried, and I figured, well, I'll bring it tonight. Anyway, we appreciate everybody being here.